Hi, what is up guys? It is your boy The Fruit coming back to yet another video. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at Boruto 2B Vortex in 2024. Now, it has been nearly 2 years. It's been a year and a half since the beginning of part 2 of Boruto Uzumaki's story. And with that said, a lot has happened in these past 17 chapters. And with that said, with 2024 coming to an end, Boruto 2B Vortex chapter 17 has already come out and we're already into 2025. And we're looking optimistic for the next chapter, which is going to be the first chapter of the year. I thought it would be interesting to take a look at Boruto in the previous year and just give my thoughts on what I think about various parts of the manga or various aspects that make this manga, and overall my opinion and what I think about the manga. Is it great? Is it bad? I mean, obviously we make videos on Boruto, so obviously this is peak fiction, but even then, I think it's always good to just every time just go back and just look at the story. So how far have we come in the past 17 chapters? And that's why in today's video we are going to be making a review of Boruto 2B Vortex in 2024. That said, my name is The Fruit and I make every video Boruto manga and anime related. So if you want to see more content like this, I just make random content. Definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. But with that said, let's get straight to it. Alright, so before we take a review of 2B Vortex, I think it's very important to take a look at what has happened in these last 17 chapters. Now, I could just basically look at everything that happened this year for sure, but I think it's also good to just look at everything that's happened in the past 2 years, especially since for me, I have never really taken a look back at Boruto in these past 2 years. So for me, I'm just going to take a look at pretty much everything that has happened since the beginning. And obviously, Boruto 2B Vortex starts off with the unexpected arrival of Boruto. When Code comes into the village with his Shinju clones, this is something that, has been teased since the end of part 2, where Code is basically planning to invade Konoha because of, his plans against Naruto, and, he's trying to take revenge for the death of Ishiki. Boruto out of nowhere pulls up and absolutely obliterates Code. This is basically what happens in the first few chapters of the manga, where we get the first big fight of the manga, Boruto versus Code. And in this fight, Boruto proves that he is the top of the verse. Obviously, we have stronger threads, we have Jura and all the other Shinju clones, but then again, this fight clearly proved to us a lot that Boruto is him. He just came in and he even introduced a new jutsu, a new variation of the Rasengan, which is probably the strongest version of the Rasengan. We have Rasengan Uzuhiko, which uses the rotation of the freaking planet, which is absolutely broken. And the fact that the only way to deactivate the freaking jutsu is by Boruto deactivating himself, or by completely destroying the earth, the planet, to stop the rotation of the earth, as he explained in that fight. Yeah, I mean, this fight was absolutely amazing. It is also made known to us by the writers of the story that Boruto is the third character in all of the Naruto and Boruto franchise to be able to use the Flying Raijin. And although in the later chapters, which is one of the recent chapters of 2B Vortex, we explained how Boruto made it into his own, and it's actually not literally Flying Raijin, it's just a variation and just basically a different take on the jutsu. Boruto is revealed in the first few chapters after his fight with Code. After Code escapes from Boruto, we are revealed that Boruto can use Flying Raijin, and this was an amazing moment for a lot of the fans. People are very hyped, and this is something that a lot of people would have loved to see Boruto master as a jutsu, and to see him finally use it was absolutely insane. And shortly after the reveal of the Flying Raijin to be used by Boruto, we are shortly introduced to the Shinju clones as the Ten Tails finally takes humanoid form in the form of the Shinju clones. We're introduced to Jura, Hidari, and Matsuri, the short handoff, the short exchange between Boruto and the Shinju clones until he eventually escapes. And we are now introduced to Boruto finally meeting up with Sarada for the first time in 3 years. A lot of the first chapters of Boruto 2B Vortex, starting from, I would say, chapter 5 and onwards, are basically just chapters that build up everything that's been happening in the time skip. We get an interaction between Boruto and Mitsuki as they have this short fight, and we're also taken aback to Boruto's backstory, how he trained with Sasuke, how Sasuke was sealed because at the time we didn't know what happened to Sasuke, and it's just basically set up for a lot of the things that happened that we were already asking at the beginning of TBV Vortex. And I would say the beginning of 2024 is kind of why a lot of the fighting and action becomes way more prominent with the arrival of the Shinju clones into Konoha. Obviously, we had the big reveal of Kurama returning to the Boruto story, which was absolutely amazing. Boruto ended up pulling up to try and help out, with the whole situation of Team 10 getting annihilated by Jiro. Obviously, we had that big fight with, obviously Jura versus Himawari. Absolutely amazing fight. And then you move fast forward to the end of the arc. We had a lot of things that happened in the first arc. Obviously, we had Hidari, short exchange with Sarada, and the whole build-up of the Shinju clones choosing their targets. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. I think this was very action-packed for 2024. We had a lot of fights. And this basically leads to the end of 2024, where basically a lot of the things are just the setup for the next arc, where the end of the arc, Boruto gets arrested. Obviously, he escapes. And then, basically a lot of things happen here. One of the major takeaways is Boruto and Kawaki, they decide to team up. This is something that was very huge for the two, especially since, Kawaki and Boruto, they know fucking with each other right now. But now that they've teamed up, this is something that was pretty huge for the progression of the story. And then obviously towards the end of the year, we were introduced to Ryu, a new Shinju clone formed from Shinki, the son of Gaara. And then pretty much after that, we got the build up to the next arc, which is taking place in the Hidden Sand. So that's basically what happened to Vortex Chapter 17, which is the latest chapter. And now we are here. We are waiting for To Blue Vortex Chapter 18. What to expect? Now, we don't know what we're going to expect for To Blue Vortex Chapter 18. But with that said, again, I really don't want to expand on everything that happened in these chapters because I don't really want to make this video too long. I kind of just wanted to give a summary of everything that's happened in the last 2 years. And if you think about it, not a lot has actually happened. It's only one arc and a few major fights here and there. And we are only on the second arc of the show. A lot of things haven't happened to this day. For example, we still have, no clues as to what's going on with Boruto's karma. What about Momoshiki? Obviously, we've been told about Momoshiki. He hasn't been there for the last 2 years. And all these other things, there's a lot going on that hasn't been revealed to this day. Even the Jogan of all things has not, ever since the first chapter of Boruto, part 1, has not been talked about ever since. And so as for the end of 2024, I'm just going to close it there. And we're basically going to be taking a look at different aspects of Boruto To Blue Vortex in 2024 that I like, and I think I'm going to give an opinion on them. And the first thing I would love to talk about is the art style. And I know that the Boruto manga has been getting a lot of criticism back in the day for, the art. People made a lot of memes comparing this shit to weekly manga that had higher quality, which I'm not going to sit here and deny that, but I think a lot of people don't give Boruto and its art style a lot of credit. I think over the years, I think people don't give it enough credit. This manga's art has improved so well over the past 7 years of the manga, and not just To Blue Vortex. To Blue Vortex, I would say, is the peak of his Ikimoto's art style, and it's just absolutely amazing. I think his art has very much improved. One thing I love about To Blue Vortex and its art is how consistent it is. I think there's a lot of great panels for sure, and I think I want to see more, and I want to see him improve. So in terms of the art style, I definitely give it like an 8 out of 10 for what it is. I think a lot of people just don't appreciate what is being seen there, but other than that, the art style has improved a lot, and I think that is a good thing. Another thing that I would love to talk about for sure is the pacing. And this is another major issue of the Boruto manga that some people, especially back in Boruto Part 1, used to complain about. But I think in 2024, yeah, a lot of people still used to talk about it, and they still talk about it to this day. But I think it has been a bit of a thing that Boruto fans have gotten used to. A lot of people always wonder, why can't Boruto be weekly? By the way, Boruto is a monthly manga for sure, obviously, right? 40 chapters each month. And people always complain. They're saying, hey, why isn't this manga weekly? Because you have to wait a whole month for a chapter. And while I do think that is kind of logical, I think a lot of people kind of just seem to forget the struggles of manga artists and how crazy the amount of work it takes to just make art is absolutely insane. If anything, I would say the least that the Boruto writers could do is make it bi-weekly. I think bi-weekly is like better than monthly for sure. But again, I'm not complaining because every month we're getting peak, and I appreciate that. I'm very thankful for that. So I don't sit here and start complaining and saying, oh, we're not getting this, we're not getting that, because at the end of the day, it just makes it seem like we're being ungrateful. And it's a story that the writers have decided to continue, especially when you consider that the story could have just ended with Naruto becoming Hokage and then that's it. But in terms of the pacing, I would say it's okay. And this is the thing with the Boruto anime that I really love the Boruto anime for, is the fact that they love to expand on the manga. When they adapt the manga, they expand it and they add interesting things to it. So this is what the anime is meant for. And when the anime comes back, I'm pretty sure they will continue to do that in a good way. And I'm not really worried about the pacing. I think the story can go for as long as it wants. I want the story to last as long as it wants so I can keep making these videos. But even then, I think the pacing is okay, at least for me. But you can definitely let me know what you guys think. And in terms of top characters for 2024, I would definitely say one of my top characters easily has to be Sarada Uchiha and Boruto Uzumaki. You can interchange them. I would say Sarada's number one for me. I mean, she's my favorite character in the show. It's not even any glaze. I guess you could say it's glazing, but I really could give a fuck. But even then, she's my favorite character. I think she has a lot of potential in the show. And even though I keep complaining about how her potential, even the last videos that I made, I talked about how this is literally her last chance. And yeah. But other than that, my top 5 characters: Sarada Uchiha, Boruto Uzumaki, Kashin Koji, the GOAT, Shikamaru, and my glorious King Sasuke. Those are my top 5. And I think the story overall in 2024 is getting better. I think this year was pretty good. I don't know if other people made videos talking about what they think about the manga last year, but I think the manga will continue to get better, and I think it will continue to get even more amazing, and we will see that with the next chapter, which should be coming out in the next few days. But with that said, it has been a video from me. Definitely let me know what you guys think. What did you think about it? Overall, I could give it a rating of like an 8 out of 10. I think we had a lot of great moments here and there, maybe even a 9 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie, but that's just me. Either way, that's been a video for me. I will see you in another one. Peace.